Hey everybody, One Wisdom here, 4:35 a.m. early Thursday morning, May 15th, 2014. This is the final upgrade video for Doomstone. The unboxed character, I took him down Column Clubber and Serious Spinner. Column Clubber hits super hard, Serious Spinner obviously a great thing if you like spin right around. Now, said it before, if I just had one Doomstone, based on me knowing nothing other than the base upgrade stuff, I would take Jaded Fighter and Carved Belt. I just took this Doomstone on the portal down Jaded Fighter, cracking up pretty awesome, really nice 25 to 38, great range for close proximity to enemies. Couple that with a Soul Gem, it's pretty good. More Doric Warfare I feel like was a complete wash, particularly when you factor in the Soul Gem. That said, cracking up I think will pan out well. Now, why did I pick Carved Belt to go with Jaded Fighter? I knew Jaded Fighter would be the more defensive path, kind of unique to Doomstone, and so I was looking around, and I personally feel Carved Belt, at least initial presentation, presents itself as a more offensive path than Serious Spinner. Plus, the biggest reason, Stony Spin, the box stock attack on the bottom end, the 1, 2, 3, 4, if you will, I prefer that over the charged spin right around. That's just personal preference. Spin right around was addressed with Serious Spinner. Carved Belt, it basically adds a projectile to go along with Stony Spin. I prefer Stony Spin if this is a good ranged projectile. It will kind of offset Doomstone's slower speed, and I think it'll just turn out to play out pretty well. That said, since I haven't taken it, it could be a horrible path, but we're going to find out right now. So here we are at the training grounds. Let me get back to my spreadsheet here. Come down to Carved Belt path, so I'll enter the numbers in the right spots. Where we left off, Stony Spin, you basically had 6, 8, 10, 12, and then when you got Revolutionary Belt, you had 6, 10, 12, 14. Again, your critical numbers there would be 9, 15, 18, 21. Sometimes I saw 8s there though, but I saw a lot of 6s, so it was worst case scenario. Speedy Spinner, kind of strange. They claim that you move quicker when you're spinning. It's barely noticeable, but it's there. So Serious Spinner path, the harder they fall, dealt 10 to 15. Spinball King upgraded the 55 to 85 of spin right around to 65 to 98, so that's kind of what we're competing with here. But just to show you what it looks like before we buy it, there's the 6 again, so that's why I went with that. But 6, 10, 12, 14, and then you've kind of got your downfall there. So let me count that. I was getting 9s when we fully upgraded it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I might have had 9 again there. When I edit those, I can make sure the first time I did it, I was getting 10 every time, and then with Serious Spinner, I was getting 9, which kind of seems strange. But nonetheless, we're going to come in here. The shield looks a little different because, again, we took Jaded Fighter with this Doomstone, but we're going to come in to the bottom now since he's fully upgraded. And right here, if you do not know, back out, watch my videos, read the posts, whatever you need to do, make sure you make the best decision. I go about things differently. I kind of like to do everything blind. In the event of Doomstone, he's my most anticipated swapper. I'm a huge Earth Element fan. He looks awesome. I have zero issues purchasing 2 Doomstones just to have both paths. If you're on a budget, or maybe he's not your favorite or most anticipated, you don't like the Earth Element, that's when these videos are going to come in handy. If you take that link at the top of the video description box, you'll see the base upgrades, and then you'll see 4 separate videos, one for each path. If you're concerned about the bottom, you can watch Serious Spinner, then you can watch this one on Carved Belt, and you can kind of come in and pick what suits you better, what you think hits harder, would kind of factor in with your playstyle better, whether that be strictly story mode, strictly PvP, combination of both, what have you. Ultimately, my goal here with this stuff is to help you out as best I can. So take the link and you will also have access to the spreadsheet where I have everything documented for you as best I can. Now, Serious Spinner, you got new spinning techniques that will knock enemies off their feet. They did 10 fall damage basically, which is kind of weak, but it looks really cool, and I think it's one of those deals you'll appreciate it more with tougher enemies. Again, Serious Spinner is an upgrade on Spin Right Around, which is the charged attack. I personally preferred Stony Spin, so we're going to come down here to Carved Belt. Shoot Jade projectiles at enemies from the spinning belt. So, don't know what kind of damage they do, don't know how many projectiles, don't know the range. To me, the range is the most important thing, followed by damage number. But if this has like a crazy range, like something that's a screen cleaner, it will make Doomstone very formidable, even if it's like a small number. So let's go ahead and check it out for Carved Belt. I do like the warning box. Again, make sure you're picking what you want. Carved Belt begins with Jaded Spin. Bear in mind all my prices are reflective of an 18 Wing Sapphires, 36% discount. But Jaded Spin for $9.60. Now shoot Jade projectiles at enemies when spinning up. So let's go ahead and buy that. Don't think we can get the next one. We can't actually, so we'll just back out of here. The cool thing with this one, I don't have to go to the arena to showcase it. We can just literally do it here. So let's go ahead and just press it once. Okay, so it's like an orbiting projectile, I guess. It's not really what I would consider a projectile. That's what I would call an orbiting thing. It seems to be doing 5 damage every time. So, wow, that was funky. 1. So there were 2 of them. Let me go ahead and just kind of 1. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and see if I can count the 5s that'll hit that mini dummy. So here we go. The sheep may get in our way and screw this up. Get out of my way, sheep. Okay, coming back over here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got like 5 of them. I'm just going to put max 5 spinning blade. I mean, that's what it looks like to me, as a spinning blade. So max 5 and then 5 damage. Following that format, 5 times 3, 15 divided by 2, 7.5. So 5 to 8 if we ever saw a critical number. Kind of weak there, and that to me is not really a projectile. That's literally like something that just orbits you. And there is a big difference in my opinion. So I think we can count these. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, it's definitively 5. That's the maximum to fire off in the cycle of the 4, of course. Back to the bottom, and we'll come in here. Belt Pelters for $12.80. Press A to spin and shoot powerful jade projectiles at enemies that do increased damage. I would hope so, because 5 to 8 is pretty weak. Also, that looks, to me, when I saw this picture, which I'm basing a lot of my decisions on, that to me looked like it was going to be like the belt, and it was literally just going to be like a 360-degree range, and hopefully have, cover good ground, and that doesn't seem to be the case, but hopefully this delivers, and we'll have some good stuff coming from it. I don't know that it can jump from 5 to 8 to rival 65 to 98, sadly, but let's do it right here and see what's gonna happen. That barely looks bigger. It just kind of glows more, which is cool glow. Okay. 8. Wow. Really stepped that one up there. So 1, 2. Gonna assume that's gonna be 8 to 12, and it's probably a maximum of 5. Let's back out over here. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, and we should be able to count 5 of these blades. So yeah, there's 5 of them, and they're probably gonna do 8 to 12 damage. There was the 12 finally. That is a little bit disappointing, I have to admit. Max 5 spinning blades, 8 to 12. That's not powerful, and that is not significant damage. That's totally false advertisement. More importantly, yeah. Wow, that to me is not a projectile. I realize by definition it is, but if you look at the picture, it clearly gives the illusion that like this is just radiating out from your belt in 360 degrees, like lasers or bolts or flaming orbs or something. Again, I'm not a big fan. I'm still not a big fan of spin right around. I honestly prefer this, the 1, 2, 3, 4 over, you know, this charging up to do that. But the bottom line is, Serious Spinner does 65 on one hit. Okay, if you were to get Carved Belt, have it maxed out, you got 5 blades, and we'll just say they're all critical. All of them are critical. It's gonna do 60 damage, and that's not good. Plus, then on Spinball King, if you got the 65, you have the critical that could be 98, and then fall damage that's 10 to 15. And in all honesty, I mean, you have to charge it up to do this, but it's fully charged by the time you're to your second belt rotation, if you will. So that it totally is not. Now, if they would have described this better, I wouldn't have even fathomed taking this path. As is, I think I can tell you not to take it, and like I said, best case scenario with Skylanders, it's like both paths are good. And I can say, hey, if you're going for the maximum damage, take Column Clubber. If you're a more defensive player, or you like to go with the unique aspects for your Skylanders, go ahead and take Jaded Fighter. I can tell you that on the top side. On the bottom side, I thought I could tell you, if you like Spin Right Around, take Serious Spinner. If you prefer Stony Spin, take Carved Belt. I can't tell you that now, because Serious Spinner, I think, is definitively better than Carved Belt. And I say that very sadly because if you recall, I told you before I'd done any upgrades, if I just had one Doomstone, I'd go Jaded Fighter and Carved Belt. Jaded Fighter because A, it's unique, and 2, I felt like the base column attacks were sufficient as is. Carved Belt because I thought it would be more offensive, and I preferred Stony Spin over Spin Right Around. Now granted, if you're up close to an enemy, you know, you're going to be doing that, but if you can see, those projectiles aren't always hitting the dummy. They're just kind of firing off, not even hitting the other dummies or sheeps in all cases. Some of them just ramble off and do whatever. That time they all hit the dummies. Let's see if those all 5 orbit that way. They did, but I didn't even see them that time. I guess they're hitting the middle one. It's kind of a crapshoot there. I mean, I realize technically you're doing 6 and 6, and you have the orb, you know, that'll do 8 to 12, but I don't know. I just feel like Serious Spinner is definitively the better path on the bottom end. And again, I say that sadly. I never like to say there's a definitive better path. I like to say if you prefer this, it's definitive. Like say there was armor tied in and there was speed on another one, I can say if you're a speed person, this is definitively better. This is one of those things, I feel like Carved Belt is like really, really lackluster and misrepresented. Plus Serious Spinner has a significantly higher hit number, so that is a bit of a shame there. Now, spin the tables. I doubt that's going to enhance our 8 to 12 or the 5, but we'll pick it up 2240. It's somewhat of a saving grace for us. During the 4th spin, enemies in a large radius are damaged, so we'll go ahead and pick that up. It really will at least play into our hand here, given that we have to be doing that to take advantage of Carved Belt. But Carved Belt, totally not what I thought it was, or I wouldn't have taken it. Haha, you know. Technically I would have, but I probably would have come in and reset this guy and then done Jaded Fighter and coupled it with Serious Spinner. So, anyway, there's 1, 2, 3, and then the big radius there, which Let me see if that's going to continue to shoot projectiles. We should count 5 of them, and I'm just going to solely count our little projectiles here and see if the soul gem is going to continue to shoot them off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still 5. That's pretty sad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. So, yep, sometimes it happens, folks. Still, I think Doomstone is an awesome character. I am a huge fan, obviously, of the Earth element. I love his aesthetics. I really like the uniqueness of Jaded Fighter. I like how heavy and hard of a hit Column Club has. Really, it's the bottom end I have problems with. It's unique. It ties in very well with spin. You have to admit that. But Stony Spin I liked. I preferred it over Serious Spinner. Carved Belt, though, just does not deliver in my opinion. I would definitively have to tell you my official recommendation for everyone is to take Serious Spinner. Unless you want a path, if you want to fully max him out, fully upgrade him and have a tougher time with everything in the game, PvP and story mode, go ahead and take Carved Belt. But for anyone normal that's not trying to do that to yourself, Serious Spinner, hands down. Top side, again, it comes down to if you want the hard-hitting aspects of Column Clubber or if you prefer the unique aspects of Jaded Fighter. Just very disappointed in Carved Belt, sadly. Again, if you look at the pictures in the game or in the strategy guide or anything, it gives off the illusion that you're like shooting off a ton of stuff in 360 degrees. This is one thing at a time, and then it's one thing at a time. You think, okay, hey, if we shot off 10 from our epicenter, they'd probably do like 5 to 8 damage, and that's nice, but you'd never hit one enemy with all of those. So one at a time will be great. They can do like 45 to 50 damage. No. It's like the worst of everything. Maximum of 5 even on the 4 rapid taps, and then 8 to 12. So literally, Belt Pelters, press A to spin and shoot powerful jade projectiles at enemies that do increased damage. Powerful and 8 to 12 do not belong in the same sentence in this game, okay? Spinball King is 65 to 98. For frick's sake, the harder they fall is 10 to 15, which is more significant than Belt Pelters and its alleged powerful damage. So, horrible path, in my opinion, here. Like I said, though, I'm still super stoked. He remained my most anticipated Skylander of the Swap Force variety, that is. Column Clubber's great, Jaded Fighter's great, Serious Spinner's really good, and Carved Belt is just horrible. So, it can't all be peachy all the time, I suppose, but, like I said, I prefer to have to think about this and say, if you're a rookie or you prefer this, take this one. If yada yada, take the other path. I honestly can't think of any reason to tell you to take Carved Belt. So I say that again, somewhat disappointed here. I could think of several things Doomstone could have done that would have been far superior to that. I won't go into them to save time on the video, but bottom line, not a fan of this path, and I cannot recommend it. That said, overall, though, he's still an awesome character. Just on the bottom end, very simply, take Serious Spinner. You'll be set with whatever you pick up top. I think you will really enjoy Doomstone. So, that said, 1850-18 didn't drop anything, so that's awesome. I'm going to get these 5 videos editing, rendering, and uploading now. They should all be live late tonight, probably during the Thunder Clippers game. You'll see the post go up, so be on the lookout for that. Again, as a subscriber, you will be the first to know. Link at the top of the video description box will take you to the post of Doomstone. You'll see 5 videos, base upgrades, Column Clubber, Jaded Fighter, Serious Spinner, and Carved Belt. You'll see my spreadsheet, and you'll probably see an asterisk at the bottom that says do not take Carved Belt. Again, I make these mistakes and take the time to research this stuff so you don't have to. And like I said, there's seriously no reason for you to take Carved Belt, sadly. So That said, like I mentioned, I still think he's an awesome character, and I think Serious Spinner coupled with Column Clubber or Jaded Fighter will give you a very prolific Skylander to play around with. But that said, make sure you're subscribed. Check out the site, oneofweezem.com. More Skylanders information than you will probably know what to do with. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you back here for our next Skylander upgrade video.